Today, we will explore the story of Barcelona. If you feel interesting, click the channel subscription button to accompany us on the upcoming adventure. Referring to Barcelona, most people will immediately think of the famous football team, the Giants of Catalonia. However, today, although I want to talk about football, we will delve into another aspect of this city. Barcelona is also known for its unique urban architecture that just looking at it makes you feel overwhelmed. Before going into details about this architectural beauty, let's take a look at some basic information about the city of Barcelona. As you often see in the media and social networks, Barcelona is the capital of Catalonia. It is the second largest city in Spain, with an area of 101 points per square kilometers, and the estimated population in 2018 was 1.6 million. To give you an idea, the area of Barcelona is equivalent to the total area of 5 districts in Hanoi, including Badin, Hon Kim, Tho, and Long Binh, and the population is about 1/5 of the capital Hanoi. Barcelona is considered one of the most attractive destinations in Europe. This place is famous for its mild climate all year round, beautiful beaches, magnificent architecture, Catalan cuisine, attractive with many diverse festivals and events. This city has been voted one of the most beautiful coastal cities in the world, although its beaches have only been allowed for recreational use since 1992, after the beaches were renovated for the Olympic Games held here. Present, Barcelona has about 4.5 kilometers of coastline. One of the iconic symbols of Barcelona is the Sagrada Basilica. The project has been under construction for more than a century and is expected to be completed in 2026. Talking about the construction time of this project, it is even longer than ancient wonders like the pyramids of Giza in Egypt or the Great Wall of China. In addition, Barcelona also boasts the Camp Nou Stadium, one of the largest and most attractive stadiums in Europe. Is the home of Barcelona Football Club. Interestingly, when thinking about Barcelona, people often immediately think of an Argentine football legend, Messi, and no other name was born here. I don't want to go into the complicated relationship between Barcelona, Catalonia, and the Spanish royal family, a relationship that has been fraught with tension throughout history. Back to the main story today, we will learn about the architectural wonders of Barcelona. Seen from above, Barcelona looks like a giant chessboard. The image displayed on Google Maps shows that the blocks of houses are arranged evenly. Makes the viewer feel pleased. From a distance, these square blocks are actually octagons with corners cut to create ventilation at the intersections. This not only expands the traffic area but also creates clear visibility, minimizing collisions, and keep the architecture from becoming stuffy. When you zoom in closer, you will see that the street is very spacious, with straight roads, unlike the smooth curves in Vietnam. In particular, Barcelona pays great attention to green space, with trees covering both sides of the road, ensuring that both pedestrians and vehicles enjoy fresh air. With its location near the sea, the air here also becomes more airy. Looking at the map, you will easily see that most of the roads are perpendicular to each other. There are many intersections but little to worry about congestion thanks to flexible turns. To better understand the traffic here, perhaps we should listen to the locals who live and work in Spain. Using the word wonder to describe Barcelona's architecture is absolutely accurate. Now, let's take a closer look at the design of each block. Of course, with such a uniform design, then rules are indispensable. Everything has a reason, and the size of the architecture is very carefully calculated. Going back in time, Barcelona was not as beautiful and orderly as it is now. Behind the current architectural beauty is a long story. By the mid-19th century, the city was facing the threat of decline due to overpopulation and pollution from industrial activities. The ancient walls still make the city feel cramped. At that time, nearly 1,000 people had to live cramped in 1 hectare of land, while high-rise buildings have not yet developed. The picture of the city then appeared on the map. We can clearly see that it is not optimized. The bold outlines on the map are the ancient walls of Barcelona, Built in the 13th century and expanded in the 15th century, the architecture is suitable for the war period, but became unsuitable as urbanization exploded in the 19th century. The massive walls separated the residential areas. Today, part of the citadel is still preserved and becomes a tourist attraction. Moving about became difficult as the carriages rolled on the narrow roads. Quality of life has fallen to crisis levels. On average during these years, the epidemic claimed about 3% of the city's population, due to unsanitary living conditions and low life expectancy. Even the upper class does not exceed 40 years old. Finally, in 1867, the city government decided to act. This is considered the last resort to improve this situation. We have architect Udo von Serra to thank. Mr. Serra is considered a legend in the world of urban architecture. Like Messi in football, he is a man of outstanding vision. Many of his standards still apply today. Serra set two important goals in his master plan for Barcelona. First, he wants to make sure that every citizen has enough water, clean air, natural light, and suitable living space. The blocks will be built from northwest to southeast to optimize daily sunlight. The second, and even more important, thing is to make sure that all the blocks are of similar proportions, with equal height and distance, along with spacious green space. The commercial area will be located on the ground floor, while the upper floors will be reserved for workers, and the upper floors for the richer class. Thanks to that, social classes will share the same public space. Exposure to more equal sanitary conditions. Thereby, the gap between social classes will gradually narrow and inequality will no longer be a problem. As soon as we started, the first thing we did was to tear down the walls, so that the areas are no longer segregated. It took the people about 12 years to remove the ancient walls. However, not the entire city was wiped out to build new ones, but still have many areas that are renovated and preserved. They do it with flexibility and not rigidity. While replanning the expansion areas, they will be designed in a grid pattern. The estimated specific size is 133 x 133 meters. If calculated in more detail, the actual size is 133.3 meters. The roads are also designed with a minimum width of 30 meters and is divided into two parts, one for pedestrians and one for vehicles. And is divided into two parts, one for pedestrians and one for vehicles, with most of the space still reserved for parks and greenery. Interestingly, to ensure natural light, buildings are not built higher than 20 meters to allow light to shine evenly throughout those areas. Over time, with the development of the economy, the demand for stores and commercial space increased. So the design has gradually transformed into what it is today. And as mentioned earlier, the corners of the blocks will be chamfered at 45 degrees, forming an octagon. Interestingly, at that time, the car had not yet been invented, but the architect's foresight reflected reality. This design makes it easier to observe and turn, while also reducing congestion. Once completed, the plan has brought about many obvious benefits. City space becomes cleaner, better for human health, while increasing traffic speed, reducing congestion and pollution. Barcelona becomes greener and brighter, with rows of trees along the streets and in the parks. Of course, as we have seen, as society becomes more modern, demands also increased, the population continued to grow, and traffic became more congested. Nothing is perfect anymore. However, Barcelona still makes a strong impression on the world thanks to this unique architecture. Thank you for following the story of Barcelona City, about a fascinating architectural wonder. Barcelona is not only about football, but also about beautiful architecture, green spaces, and other interesting stories. See you next time. We will continue to explore Barcelona with many other interesting stories. If you find it interesting, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to support me and the production team. Again, thank you so much.